Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Saving Sunderland. Now of course we've got some things to review from the transfer window that hadn't completed last episode, but we've also got our first Champions League game against Atletico Madrid. So as you well know, I was trying to get rid of our wingers. I've done some pretty unsuccessfully really. Dimitri Annan went to Chelsea for 70 million. He's going to be a fantastic player for them. I was hoping that someone from outside the English leagues would have come and taken him, but it wasn't to be, so I've took the money whilst I can. Mohamed Zahir went to Dortmund for £63 million. Again, I think that's got some other little clauses and things. A.Madrid went for 28.5 million, rising to 38.5 million. Because he was a winger and we're no longer using them. And as you can see, we've got rid of some other people on loans and just for smaller fees altogether. Didn't bring anyone else in during the summer transfer window. Leaves our squad still quite big. We've still got Marco Vignato, Charalabidis and Wozniak, who we were trying to get rid of, but we were unsuccessful. So hopefully their value doesn't diminish too much going into the January transfer window or for next season. In terms of the games that you've missed since we got beat in the Community Shield by Chelsea, we followed that up with our first game of the season in the Premier League, and we won 3-0 against Middlesbrough. A double from Lincoln and one from Sugo sealed the victory. Esparza had a particularly fantastic game playing in the box-to-box midfielder role, so I'm enjoying his work so far. We then played Chelsea at home in a replay against the Community Shield, and we smashed them this time. We won 4-0, a double from Luis Enrique Herranz, one from Sugo, one from Lincoln. Our three strikers all getting a goal, which is fantastic. And yeah, I think the three striker system is going to work well for us this season. Next up was an absolute demolition job of Fulham at home in the Premier League. 8-0, Phil Foden, Van Nest, Luis, Herranz, Slowy, and we missed a couple of penalties in there just for good measure. But yeah, 8-0 in any game really is absolutely fantastic, and the boys really did play particularly well in this game. And in the final game before our first Champions League game of the season was against Bournemouth. We won this one 4-2 away from home in the Premier League. Luis Enrique Herranz, Lincoln, Younger Blout and Van Nest got the goals for us. I was disappointed to concede 2 goals in this game. They did create a good few opportunities, but you know, we hadn't conceded before this game, so to concede 2 is a little disappointing. And all of that sees the table looking like this. In the Premier League, we are top level on points with Brighton, interestingly. We're dominating the goal scoring and the average rating charts right now. Obviously, we haven't played any of the tougher opponents apart from Chelsea. We haven't played any of them away from home at the very least, so I expect us to calm down as the season goes on, but we've started fantastically. And in this season's Champions League, we were drawn in Group G. We've got Atletico Madrid, CSKA Moscow and Feyenoord to play. It's a pretty, I think that's quite a good group. Atletico Madrid were obviously the second seeded team that got drawn in our group, and to be honest with you, it could have been a lot worse. Right, so getting to this game, we'll pick our lineup. We'll start with Pickford in goal, Rios, Pfeiffer and Luis, our mainstays at centre-back. Oh, we're really struggling right wing-back. We'll leave that for now. Although actually we're going to have to play someone there. We'll start with Kieran Tierney, right wing-back, Milagres, left wing-back. Esparza picked up an injury in the last game. We're going to start with Velasquez and Phil Foden in the centre. In terms of strikers, we'll start with Tobias Van Nest, Lincoln and Sugo. And on the bench we'll have Younger Blout, Matteo Guendouzi, Slowy, Gudinho, Ruben Diaz, Wozniak. We're really struggling for players at the minute. We'll start with Marco. Yeah, that'll be it. We'll have Marco on the bench as well. So yeah, let's get into it. They are starting with a 4-4-2 formation, which I think we've struggled with in the past, but we'll see how today goes. And we'll kick off against Atletico Madrid, shooting from left to right. It's a bit of a cobbled together team. Injuries have knocked out a few of our first 11, but we'll see how today goes anyway. Away from home in the first game of the Champions League is always interesting. It gives you the sort of sense of how you will perform in the group, as we have an early chance through Van Nest. Highlights coming thick and fast. 2 minutes in, Atletico Madrid this time high up the pitch. Velasquez can cut it out though. Can we break through Van Nest? He's got a lot of space to run down this right hand side. He finds Sugo though in the box. It's a tight angle, but he finds Lincoln in the box, making it 1-0 very early on, 3 minutes in. That was fantastic play by Van Nest to find Sugo in the box, and I thought he was going to actually take the strike at a ridiculous angle, but no, he remained composed, and Lincoln's bursting into the box there, as you can see, and he gets the goal. Champion. 10 minutes in, we've got another highlight. We have the ball quite deep. Atletico Madrid are playing a pressing style, but Sugo finds Van Nest in behind Oblak with a big save. This very same highlight's continuing from the corner that resulted in the last strike. Pavon down the right hand side for Atletico Madrid gets the ball in. It's cleared only as far as Giraldez. Back to Pavon. Can they get the ball in? They've got some men on the box as well. Pavon, Corgate takes the strike, goes just wide. We're half an hour in now, and there's finally another highlight. It's been quite a quiet first half after the electric start. Vanessa's got the ball down this right hand side now. He gets past one, he gets past two. Lincoln's there, front post, gets the head on it. The keeper can't do nothing about that. When the cross comes in and you head it back on it, keeper's always going to struggle with that. As you say, Phil Foden finds Kieran Tierney, who's having a decent game at right wing back. Vanessa bursts down this right hand side. Excellent cross in by the lad. And Lincoln rises higher than the defender, making it 2-0. 2 goals for Lincoln. We reached half time now. It is 2-0 against Atletico Madrid. I'll get the boys out. Not much needs to be done, so we'll see if they're setting off. And we kick off this time. We are shooting from right to left. Kieran Tierney has the ball quite high up the pitch. He finds Phil Foden in the centre. Vanessa's in the open space in the box, but he cannot put it away. He's performed really well in his passing play, but he needs to get his finishing into gear. 55 minutes in, we're going to make some changes. Milagres is unfortunately going to have to stay on, but Velasquez can come off for Guendouzi, and Jose Luis can come off for Ruben Diaz. Highlight now. Pickford claims a loose cross from Atletico Madrid. Milagres now down this left-hand side. He finds Sugo in the open space. Can he get the ball in? He can. Lincoln's there. Lincoln is putting away everything today. That's his hat-trick. Another assist for Sugo as well. Fantastic. Guendouzi with a nice ball out wide. Milagres still on the pitch, obviously, despite his lacking in conditioning. Sugo now gets to the byline, finds Lincoln. And this is the thing, though. 3 strikers are combining really well. And when we had the winger system, they weren't getting into them sort of positions. They weren't getting in behind the defence. Whereas the strikers are, which is absolutely fantastic. As Vanessa goes through now, finds Sugo over the top. Another good save by Oblak, could be 5 or 6. Milagres now finds Sugo in the middle, finds Guendouzi. He's got space for Tierney on this right hand side, but he obviously is left-footed. Vanessa from a very tight angle. I was just commenting on his finishing ability, and he's just shut me right up. Sugo now, you see him find Guendouzi in the centre. The problem with having Tierney on the right hand side means he cannot just dart down that right hand side, but he cuts in and finds a good pass for Vanessa, and that's a fantastic finish, beating Oblak at his front post. 70 minutes in, we're going to make our final change. I'm going to get Milagres off for Wozniak. Wozniak's obviously a central midfielder, not a wing back, and I'll swap him, and before this highlight continues, I'll swap him and Kieran Tierney, so at least Kieran Tierney's on his natural position. And Wozniak's right-footed as well, I believe. So, yeah, just need to save conditioning now. We're 4-0 up, 10 minutes to go. Been a fantastic game by the boys. This is obviously our toughest challenge of the group stage, really. Oh my God, did you just say that? I wasn't commentating. I didn't think Kieran Tierney was going to take a strike from the edge of the area. Wozniak and Tierney, the wing-backs combining. Absolutely fantastic strike. We'll see it here. Phil Foden plays it back to Wozniak. You can see Tierney on the edge of the box here. What a first-time strike. Scissor kick, volley, whatever it was. If that's not goal of the season, we'll have scored some belters if it isn't. But Atletico Madrid straight from kick-off. Carlos Miguel, well, that's the problem. We're playing a high line. Long kick from the defence, and it defeats our defenders too easily. Paulo Jorge here absolutely lashes it. Carlos Miguel gets in behind Jose Luis, and that makes it 5-1. 87 minutes, Phil Foden with a free kick. Mateo Rios is there. Nearly. 93 minutes, and that's going to be it. Sunderland 5, Atletico Madrid 0. Our toughest test of the group stage has been done, and we've really performed well there. Particularly Lincoln, he's enjoying that. He enjoys being in the centre of the 3 strikers, I think. I've got the centre in a supporting role, so he's dropping deeper for the ball, but he's also the 2 outside strikers are getting in behind the wing backs, and he's obviously making the runs in the centre of the midfield, centre of the defence, and getting the goals for us. Sugo, we're not seeing the output from him the same as we are the others, but he did play well last game. He did get himself a couple of assists, I believe, so obviously we'll miss Luis Enrique Aranz, who I think is going to be the best striker in the world in this season. So looking forward to the next episode. It's going to be the final group game of the Champions League, so we've got a huge amount of games that we'll have to go through. CSK and Moscow away from home. I would imagine our Champions League fate will be decided by them, but I don't want to leave it too long before I come back here. So 9th of December against CSK. Well, the 3 striker system is performing well, as you would expect, and a tough game against Atletico Madrid was absolutely too easy for our lads, so I expect an easy run in the Champions League till the knockout stages at the very least. If you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you're enjoying my content, why not get yourself subscribed? But until next time, take it easy.